Hello out there in the world. My name is Dave Mengen. We are here at the USWRA National Championships for 2022. This is a Division I matchup between the Ability360 Heat out of Phoenix versus the Texans out of Houston. This game will determine who plays where in the crossovers later this afternoon. Heat were upset yesterday by the Warriors of WAR. So they're looking for a win here and hoping that Texas beats WAR later on. So that'll, sorry, I got a throat lozenge. My throat's a wreck from yesterday. Because that'll cause a tiebreak situation, so then we're going to go to point differential. So they have the ability to get back into the top bracket, which gives them an opportunity to compete for that championship. A loss here will mean neither of these teams plays in that top bracket. So the traditional handshake before we start. And Rob Deller there in the circle, tapping against Orozco. Quick Heat score. Puts them up by one try right off the bat. Deller gets it. And over the top, that goes to Peacock. Like Peacock number 3. Goes to Jones. Tim Jones swatted at there by Orozco, number 33 for the Heat. Peacock back to Jones. And Jones drops the ball. Turnover. It'll be Scott Hogsett inbounding number 8 from the corner. Got to get a running start there. Gets it to Orozco. Chun will take it up court. Does a nice job there, staying behind his pick. Letting Bohan lead him up the court. Welcoming back Joe Delagrave to my side here for this Division I matchup.
Good to be back. I had to check on my boys, make sure they're not doing anything dumb. They were cheering on the
boys.
Yeah, I mean, boys and girls.
Were they cheering?
Cheering on. They're watching the Texas Warrior game, which was actually a close game. It ended up being a 3-point game.
Who ended up winning?
Texas won. So we know that Texas is the top seed in that pool, and they'll play U of A. That's all figured out.
Right.
But we've got to figure out what's going to happen with this game, correct?
Yes, the outcome of this game will determine who plays Denver and who plays in that second game.
Yeah,
right?
so if Phoenix wins, they will have a two-way tie for second place with WAR. And WAR just lost by 3 or 4 to Texas, and Phoenix lost by 6, was it? 7 maybe? Yesterday to Texas? But the differential is usually head-to-head, which Phoenix already has against the Warriors. So I'm not sure if it's just a straight tie, if the head-to-head matters, or
head-to-head is the first.
I would assume so, correct?
Yes. Intercepted by Bohan. Deceptively long reach.
It pays to have a deceptively long reach in this game. Well, it doesn't pay, but you get turnovers.
It certainly works out in your favor. Oh, looks like one of your mini-me's is here.
One of my boys is here.
In from
Thank
Curley, number 1. to Deller, over the top to Jones.
We're having a boys' weekend in Rockford. Shout out to my wife, April, who's with our other kid, Brindley. They're having a girls' weekend.
Sounds like a nice plan.
Yeah.
Hopefully the boys don't feel like they got the short end of the stick. I mean, they get to watch rugby.
They get to watch rugby, and they get to do fun stuff with Dad that we're not going to tell Mom about.
And while Dad's working, they're probably doing fun stuff that they want Dad to know about. Over the top to Chun.
Oh,
Curley almost gets a call on it.
Coach Curley these days. He's the head coach of the Low Point team for the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama in July.
Steve, a veteran also of the U.S. national team. Roscoe gets his hand in there.
Steve's one of those guys, too, that has a fused neck. So he is being able to look behind him. It takes a little bit longer. But he's
turned his whole body.
He still has phenomenal core vision.
Being strapped in as you are, you pretty much have to turn your whole chair. Deller, so quick. Gets on to Bohan. Tries to put him into the cone.
Yeah.
First time I saw Deller play, he was in Philadelphia, I believe.
Yep, that's correct.
Played for Shepherd for a while, and Atlanta, and now he's with the Tier Texans. So his timeout is called by the Texans. Not to be confused with the Texas Stampede.
And 2 teams here from Texas. 2 teams here from Arizona. 2 teams here from Florida. If you're seeing any common occurrence, it's
and
sunny.
Notice that all 6 of those are also D1 teams, so all the D1 athletes seem to move to where the one is.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm so slow. It's so cold and my blood's molasses. I wish that was the problem.
It's vitamin D never hurts, that's for sure.
Yeah, except in massive quantities. Knocked down by Chun, and Orozco has a pretty good handle on that.
Got a little equipment there.
Jones is stuck. Looks like Tim Jones might be coming off.
That's always tough when Coach Curley subs him off. He turnover, got hooked on a guy's chair, and he says, you know what, get off the court. That's tough.
So we have Carl Williams in for the first time. He's a 2'5".
Saw Carl this morning on the elevator at the hotel, and he accidentally got off the wrong floor. We were on 4, he thought he was on 0. He said, don't tell anyone, so I figured I'd tell everyone else.
Well, he got away with one there.
Yeah, he did.
I saw that tire across the blue line. So the defender, Orozco, crosses the line there. Give them a penalty try, but he was going to score either way. Mike Peacock there, number 3 for the Texans. I like this high camera shot. It really gives you the opportunity to look at the play develop on the monitor.
Yeah, it's a great look.
And around the corner, Hogsett did all the work there.
Yes, they switching their key offensive play a little bit. I was kind of harassing them at the banquet last night about their lack of key offense. And this time they had the 2 spread the court out a little bit more so that Scott can make a pick and then Roscoe has somewhere to go. It worked there, but big question is going to work later today in their crossover.
So that's Williams trying to get the ball to Curley. And Peacock back to Williams. He's looking over at Deller, but can't get it over the top. Hogsett poking in there. Poke, poke. Peacock jukes Bohan, but the pass isn't any good unless you're a Roscoe.
Yeah.
Looks like your Texans ready to make a sub. Got some subs coming over here on the Phoenix bench
Subs
as
all
well.
around. Subs all around.
Peacock goes
Good
into
stuff.
traffic. Orozco gets his hand on there, but it'll be a foul.
And
It's pretty ill-advised there. It's 2 seconds left on the 3 seconds left to go 12. Got guys with hands all over the place. All you have to do is try and keep them from passing.
if we had sponsors here that were a bail bond company, that'd be a great time to shout them out, because that was definitely a bail out there.
Chico's bail bonds. Was that Bad News Bears?
Yeah. And Texas,
They'll get
I'm
their
sorry, the
first power play.
Texans, Houston Texans, sponsored by Tier Memorial there. We just checked in for them. We've got Daniel Ortiz, who is on the Low Point roster for the World Games training squad right now. Up and coming 1.0.
We also have Kevin Hamilton in his homemade jersey.
Yeah, this time they didn't even give him a tank. They just said, here's a T-shirt, turn it inside out.
Cut off your sleeves.
Here's some tape.
And Joe Jackson in as well.
Surprised he just didn't go with number 1.
I think they might, maybe they already have a number 1. I don't know.
No.
I like his number, though. I'm good about that.
Is that Dave Mengen's favorite number?
It is my number, that's for sure.
When you spell your last name to people over the phone, what do you do?
I just emphasize the letters.
Yeah.
E-N-G-Y. I don't use words.
You don't go G as in George, N as in Nancy.
No. Although when I do have to go there, I don't do the as in. I just say,
yeah.
Right, Mike, Echo, November.
Oh, okay.
My time in ROTC and my short time in the reserves.
Yeah.
I learned all that stuff. I learned enough. Got to drive a tank and got to shoot a howitzer, so. Skills I never would have learned any other way. What's with the vest, Mr. Bongiovanni?
Giovanni.
So Williams inbounding here and knocked down before it could get to Deller. Saved there by Hamilton.
Kevin Hamilton.
There's a logo on his T-shirt. He didn't even get a new T-shirt.
There, he's just wearing the Nationals T-shirt inside and out.
Is it? Okay.
I think from 3 years ago. I think they went black T-shirts this year for Nationals, which is smart when you're around quads. They'll actually wear it.
Right, because you're always getting food on those.
White stuff to wear.
Williams a little smack back. Peacock stuck. Deller. Gets it back to Williams.
Good pass there from Rob.
I've always wondered how hard it might be with one arm shorter than the other to be able to push, equally at both sides at the same time. But he handles that by reciprocating. So.
Yeah. We just watched Corey Pudabaugh do it really well this last game.
Very effectively, yeah.
Extremely
there are a lot of guys, around the world that do it. Orozco's another one, right?
Yep.
Him scoring that try now, making it 11-5. Rob Deller making the high turn. Gets blocked by Orozco. Peacock off the front of his chair. Hit by Hogshead as he's trying to catch that, but it was a little short. It'd be hard for him to pull in even if he hadn't had the pressure from Hogshead. Some substitutions getting ready over here on the Tier Texans bench. Peacock trap, shaking his head no, like, I can't get out of this. And he rightly calls timeout.
For Ability360, it's this game's probably going to go in their favor, and you want to save your players for the crossover. So it's I'm guessing we're going to see a lot of bench from them once they get up to maybe a 10-point lead. They got a 7-point lead right now, but
so it's what, 10:45, and I think it's not a crazy expectation to think that they will be playing at 3:30. Orozco with the try there. Williams looking. Got Geller. Jones drops back.
yeah.
He could have been a passing option there. Hogsett making sure to take away the pass, but Geller able to take it by himself. Shout out to my rugby club. The men's team and the women's team are playing today at home.
Little spring 15s going on.
Yeah. Both home matches.
The hits when it's cold out hurt much
and
more.
And the
worse.
field is very wet, so they're wet and cold. That's like, I'm inside a heated gym.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about it. It was snowing this morning when we left the hotel.
I'm just getting cold thinking of it.
Jeez. Don't move back to a cold state. Orozco having a little trouble there, but he's able to beat Williams. And now with the help of Jackson, he'll attack the key. They're going to wind this one down, 54 seconds. Geller holds him out, but crosses the line, so we'll get the penalty try here. And he was 52 isn't a bad time for him to score anyway for managing the clock. So, and it's 15-6.
It's a good clock, and Phoenix, up 9. They still want to work on their clock management for their next game. So,
Practicing
good job
habits.
executing. Yeah.
You can practice that at your facility when you practice, but it's not the same as a real game situation, no matter who you're playing.
Let's see.
Geller turns the chair of Orozco behind the axle.
It's a spin.
No danger, no advantage.
Yeah, no advantage taken except he stops him and spins him around 360. But you can tell it's a pet peeve of mine, the spin call, because forever.
I agree. I think
being 200 pounds,
like that,
being 200 pounds, and I got spun constantly in my career, and I never got called for it because I didn't go anywhere. And
I feel like you're teaching the offensive player or whoever is making that spin that it's okay to do it in some situations.
Yeah, I mean,
and then they're going to do it wrong.
Right.
And that's when somebody gets hurt. But that's the rules that we have. Everyone has to play by them. So nothing wrong with that. 16-6 is our score after 1. We'll be back in 2 minutes to see the second quarter. Welcome back. My name is Dave Mengen. I'm here with Coach Joe Delagrave of Team USA. And we think we are starting the second quarter, but shot clock didn't start, so they'll start this over. 16-6 our score. The Heat in the lead over the Texans.
And we got subs in for Phoenix.
James Saw, number 41, and Eric Bell.
Again, getting those guys breaks, which they need.
Orozco's used to playing every minute of every game for Columbia.
Yeah.
But having him fresh for that crossover is going to be important. At some point, they're going to hopefully feel comfortable making that swap. I think they're deep enough to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Loose ball. Deller trying to pick it up. Can't. Quick acceleration by Deller.
Yeah, good hustle on both sides there.
Yeah, it's hard to pick that ball up fast, but when you know you've got a guy behind you that's ready to blast you if you pick it up,
yeah,
it's in your head.
The only thing that's tough about this court is the baselines are not deep. There's walls, boom, right there.
They're a lot deeper than some of the places we've played,
well,
but for this level,
yes, for this level, it's tough where you don't have the runoff.
We saw Ernie Chun go forward and almost slam his head into that brick wall back behind Steve Curley. Tim Jones. Don't act like you don't know his name. Sorry. My rap reference. I always get that in my head whenever I play against him. Deller trying to keep Orozco in the corner. Orozco gets around. Deller went for the hit there instead of the chair position. Orozco has got Curley trying to stop him. That's not going to happen. 19-7.
Sorry about that. Had my cord caught in my mic. Doesn't make for good commentating.
You can always hit that button. Jones now in trouble. Orozco's got his hand on it, and since he cannot pick it up, they'll call that a jump. Or a held ball, sorry. I always get cross-eyed looks from the officials when I call it a jump.
Call it a jump ball. Held ball, jump ball.
They always say, who's jumping in this situation? But they call it a jump in basketball, don't they? And
yes, they do. And no one's jumping.
They're not jumping, only at the beginning. Deller through the key. Gets the try for Houston.
Eric Bell on for Ability360 as well. And he's not very happy about wearing number 7 because he's EB3. He's one of 3 his entire career. And apparently him and Levi are going to hash it out.
When I started playing, Brian Sheridan had number 11, and he asked me what number I wanted, and I told him. He said, "That's my number." And he said, "But I'll let you have it if you make a $500 donation to Michigan Sports Unlimited, the charity." Like, okay, no problem. So I've had my number since my first game.
I like that.
Great
Everybody
Lake
wins.
Storm. Yep.
What number did he switch to?
I don't remember. Clearly, it didn't matter to him as much as it mattered to me.
Obviously not. I think he could have taken you for another $500. Should have bumped it up.
Michigan Sports Unlimited is a great organization. Nick Long's the president of the organization, I think. I was on the board for a little while too, a few years back. Lots of great recreation opportunities and sports opportunities. We do some scholarships. I went to ask Paul if he ever got that scholarship. They said they were going to give him one. I didn't know what they were going to get him.
Yeah.
He went to Low Point Camp Paul Garrett
Okay.
with the help of Michigan Sports Unlimited. So Orozco waiting for Bell and Jackson to get set up in their corners. And he and Sa will attack the key. Orozco can't get in, but he draws Peacock far enough that Joe Jackson's able to take advantage and open up that corner.
They're running that little back door, kind of lulling everyone to
Isolate
sleep.
the chaser, yeah. So we used to call that our bread and butter play, the BB.
The problem if it's not there and you have to reset, slim pickings, which we saw yesterday. But
Yeah. It's a good play to learn when you're trying to learn how to attack a key. Because you can develop into several different opportunities in the different gaps.
It's always a read.
You have to sell that you're trying to get in there and draw a player over so that you create more space in the key. But there are a lot of really, really interesting plays to attack the key. Again, going around the corner, Joe Jackson doing the work with Orozco.
Knowing Scott, I think they were probably drawing plays in the dirt at the hotel last night. The tough thing is the language barrier with Roscoe. He doesn't speak good English. They don't speak good Spanish. But they've got a guy on their bench, Obi. He's been playing with them now for probably about 7, 8 years. Speaks fluent Spanish, so that kind of works. But
Obi?
Yeah. And he's down. He's a 3. Doesn't play very much, but he's pretty much a translator here to translate. But I think Noah Obi, he's a funny guy. And
did he not make the trip?
He's here. He's just not on that roster. I'm pretty sure he's just here to translate.
Oh, he might be on the 2 team too. Didn't they have 2 teams?
They did, but scrapped that after some personnel issues.
Well, and I think with all that's going on, probably they don't have as many people. Jackson with the long inbound.
Setting up the swoop play. Jackson comes up, sets the pick. Good, easy, efficient rugby, but James does not make the read very well.
The swoop play?
Yeah, so it's a swoop play where Jackson comes up.
Is that the high screen?
Yep, high screen, and you swoop right around it.
Sure.
Where?
I've never heard it called that.
Yeah. Different terminology for the exact same thing, right? With a lot of different teams.
Swoop is sexier.
Yeah.
High screen is more, this is what's happening. .341 left in the second. And a 10-point lead for the Heat.
Looks like they're subbing a little 3-2-2-1 actually, maybe? Yeah, it looks to be so. 3-2-2-1. Joe Jackson's going to run the show here. They've got James Saw getting plenty of time. They want to keep Ernie on the bench and save him. He's a guy that needs rest so he can be as fast as possible.
Yeah. Ernie comes out there. We were talking about him last night. He's just all intense all the time. Just comes out slamming and jamming. Nice job there by Levi Bohan to punch Jones across the line.
Yeah, didn't stand a chance there.
Deller working with one hand. Although Deller's actually got the other hand. He has it taped up in a club because it's super sensitive.
Yeah. Good push there from Tim Jones.
Yeah.
I teed you up for another rap reference, but I guess he didn't want it.
No.
He one and done on that.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the same well.
Yeah, okay.
He can be quick when he needs to be. It's deceptive. He doesn't seem that fast. Back into the key go the Texans. Ortiz, the chaser, out on top.
Going with Levi running the ball here.
Levi haven't done that with Utah. Utah being a very midpoint team when they were playing.
Ill-advised pass there from Levi.
Yeah, and Hamilton's trapped in the key. So we got a bench or a coach's timeout called by the Heat.
They fixed the call there. They were going to say it was white ball, but it was definitely gray ball because Levi threw that to nobody.
So they're not going to take the timeout. I don't think they really wanted it at that point.
No.
They were trying to get Hamilton out of the key, right?
And I think, you know, Scott was arguing with the refs, and he's probably right there where
that he didn't want to call it because they changed it.
He's calling it coaches to get him out of a situation, and the refs changed the call, which
yeah,
should allow.
He should have the opportunity to withdraw that timeout. I agree. I think that was.
He's not going to make too much of a fuss in this game, but it's you know.
Need a little fuss.
Yeah,
just a little.
Joe does a good job staying up court there. Gets the pick. Gets
Peacock going backward there. He's not going to do anything positive. You just turn your chair around. I mean, there are situations where backward makes sense, but that was not one of them.
Correct.
Most of the time, you're not going very far. So Deller around Hamilton.
Yeah.
Peacock comes to help out. And over the picker of Saw. Deller gets the try, 25-16 with 2.5 minutes left in the second. Kevin Hamilton, formerly of Chicago. Still has the tag on his inside-out t-shirt jersey. And right through the middle.
It's Hamilton.
So that'll be gray ball because it was off.
Same way.
And that'll be Ortiz calling for inbound. He doesn't want one of his deuces stuck off the court. Too easy to trap him there in that corner. I try not to inbound in the corner if I can avoid it. Well, I might have to do that next year.
Picking up some tips and tricks here at Nationals.
Peacock with the try. And Saw around Bohan. Jones leaves. And Levi gets across there. Runs into Hamilton and Deller. Saw looking to get up there in the key. He's there in the corner. It's for him if Levi can get it out of his hands. And a little sky hook.
Yeah, a little Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there from Levi. Patrick Ewing used to do the same thing, but he'd take 5 steps before he'd do it.
I used to drive my brother insane because I told him I thought the name was Pewing. And we were kids. And
Yeah.
drove him nuts. Patrick Ewing, because it would say P. Ewing. Anyway.
I get it.
Saw tries a head fake.
Up the sideline, he kind of hospital pass.
Deller just blasted him. Leans in to make sure he gets that contact.
That's called a Levi hospital pass, and Levi says, you know what, James, I didn't like what you said about me at dinner last night, so I'm going to throw 3 bounces and have Rob play up. He goes over and says sorry to him, like that's going to help.
Watch Deller lean into that with his
Yeah.
left shoulder to make sure he gets the call.
Yeah.
Another angle here. Beautiful. Saw going up. And again, that shoulder. And James thinking, what did I do there? Why'd you set me up like that?
Cue the hold me closer, Tiny Dancer.
Is Tony Danza here?
My uncle went to college with him at University of Dubuque.
No way.
Yeah.
That's funny. The things you learn doing commentary for wheelchair rugby.
Oh, are we commentating? All right, we're back to it.
No, we're sitting in the stands talking about something we love. As Hamilton takes the inbound.
Back to, oh, they're going to run a little half-court attack. I love that. That should have actually been a legal advantage. Hamilton had his time in the lap, but did not get called for it.
And now,
20
all
on the
tied
shot.
up. Nobody from Phoenix able to get away.
Yeah, 15. They want to use the time.
11-second differential between the shot and the game clock.
Yeah, they'll get it under 15 and then use it.
So Phoenix using a timeout.
Let's go.
14.3 left on the game clock. 27-19 is our score. The Heat in command here.
They're going to run a little clock management with their starting line. Smart move.
Well, if you're going to practice it, practice with the guys who are going to need to use it, right?
Yep. Shot clock's off. 14.3 to score.
Ernie kind of looks to me like he's saying, "Will you put me out here for 13 seconds?" Mike's cold. Ernie takes his space in the key, and Orozco gets around the corner.
Yeah, Ernie's the guy. A lot of mustache here this weekend. He wears it permanently.
Yes.
He's been wearing it for as long as I've known him.
Yeah, I wouldn't recognize him without it.
No.
And that'll be the end of the second period. We'll come back after halftime in 5 minutes to this Division I matchup. We'll see you then. right, welcome back to Rockford, Illinois, where we have the second half of this Division I matchup, the final Division I matchup. This one between the 360 Ability Heat and the Tier Texans.
We've got a little classic deuce line, deuces and the bell.
28-19.
No, nothing there.
In control at this point.
It's a good reset, though. Good reset. Get a lot of space, get some more speed, plenty of time.
So Phoenix with the 7.5-point line.
The flying Hawaiian was the
through.
sneaky Hawaiian there. It barely fit through a gap and gets the score. Remember to flip the arrow.
I'm watching the referees
There we go.
communicate non-verbally over here.
Flipping the old cone.
It's like, what are you saying, hang loose? Is that what that means?
I think so. Surfs up, hang loose. Flip the cone.
Deller out to meet Bohan. Oh, and that's a vertical. That hurts. His shoulders hurt. He looks like he's in pain. Clear out. Give him a meter. You can apologize later.
It's a good hit there by James, and you got a guy that doesn't have a lot of lower
Hopefully
limbs.
we can see that again. Yeah, all of his body weight is at the back of the chair.
So
He's got to come out.
yeah, it's not a egregious play. He's just trying to make a hit. But it looks like
it was when he put his arm down to try and save himself.
He has a fused elbow there, and looks like the elbow is bending in a way that he probably doesn't want it to. Tough play there for him.
Yeah.
And again, James wasn't making he's making a rugby move. Wasn't egregious or anything like that.
He was going backward, which makes that the front of his chair. So you could make the argument that, well, maybe that wasn't vertical.
Yeah.
Because when you change direction with your chair, when you go backward, the back is the front of your chair. So if you get a vertical, it's because you're hitting him in the front.
Help him back up in his chair.
Well, yeah, now he's going to have trouble because he doesn't have, if his arm is hurt as much as it looked like, he's going to have trouble getting back up here. I'm glad we're not Joe Theismanning this to death.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that at all.
I mean, I like to see what happened.
Yeah, but
I don't need
see
to see his bone pop out of his leg six times in a row.
Everyone gives him a round of applause.
Thank
there.
you from the production crew.
Hope Carl's all right with his elbow.
So Williams will go to the bench. Hopefully he's okay. And Steve Curley will inbound. So it looks like they did not call that a vertical. Is it? Oh no, that was a turnover.
Yeah. Straight turnover.
Right. You can't go in the box and get a turnover. Not on one foul. Jones not going to be able to get that. Deller gets it to him, though. Chung left him.
Get it over.
And he's at the line, but he gets it to Curley. Nice job there. Back to Jones. Peacock on the other side. Bell's going to make sure he can't walk it in.
Hey.
Big Rob Deller there.
Nickel and dime it down the field like a West Coast offense.
A try's a try, Joe.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But when a team needs to use 35 seconds to get there over and over, it's telling you something. Deller pounds it in there despite Chun getting in.
Man, the last play, Eric needs to move towards the open two faster.
Eric Bell.
Yeah, the guy was doubled, and he sat on that double a little bit too long.
Well, fortunately, he has this film to look back and have your direction. Quick give and go.
That's a nice play.
Really nice play. Bohan's defender left him. You got to put pressure on that give and go, but if you give up the freebie. Doesn't matter. Deller's got some momentum. Is he going to take on Chun? He's not.
It's a hit that you just, the score is what it is. I really don't want to make that contact there either. And Ernie kind of let off and said, you know what, let's save that.
Deller, too, able to make a really good, sharp turn when he's got momentum without falling over. There's a few guys that can do that.
Yeah. They run some classic.
I lose a lot of momentum when I do that. Chun across. Makes it 31-23. Bell slows down Deller.
Oh, ball's popping out. Pops out
Into
to his favor.
Deller fires it ahead to Jones. Jones doing a nice job there.
And Deller,
creating space.
Houston has quite a few seasoned players. Is that the correct way to say it, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way to say it that I don't say it because I always get in trouble for using the O word.
Yeah, but Rob's played a lot of seasons on the national team. He's a great teammate too.
Rob Deller?
A really nice guy. Worked really hard.
Yeah, he unfortunately had troubles with classification.
Had some classification issues, but he nearing the 50 mark, the old 5-0.
I didn't realize he was so close to me.
Yeah.
Did I say that better than saying he was so old?
Yeah, let me just hit the cough button there a couple more times. It's seasoned. It's aged. Like fine wine.
To perfection, like cheese. Although cheese can be stinky. So
I was just.
And I'm not a big fan of American cheese, but I also don't want a stinky cheese.
No, no one likes a stinky cheese.
You'd be surprised. And maybe because they feel like it's
you can learn a lot about a person.
A prestigious
that likes
thing.
Stinky cheese.
Nice pass there by Bohan. Bell able to pull it in. And Levi looking at that corner where Peacock's not going to let him get set up there for the pass. And Chun calls timeout with 11 left on the shot clock. I don't know why they were counting it down like that. Are they looking at clock management at 4:46? That doesn't make any sense.
Confused by that one. I think they just wanted a sub, maybe?
Maybe, but they were counting it down like to 1.
Yeah.
So maybe that's 1.1.
Is that 1? Is that 1.1?
It looks like 11 seconds,
that
but
must
it's
be
1.1 because it just reset to 15.
Hey, everyone, that was a 1.1 on the shot clock.
I don't like it. At least put a decimal point in there so I know what's going on. Orozco does not have it. And gets it to Chun. Peacock's got his hand on the ball.
Wow. Peacock wanted to jump, but it was bobbling. It was bobbling. If the ball's moving, there's not going to be a held ball call.
And Chun able to turn his chair away from him, so he wasn't controlling his ability to do with the ball, what he wanted with the ball. Jackson there and Curley with Chun.
Curley, good.
And Jones looking for some help. He gets it from Curley. Curley comes across half and just sets a little pick for him, gives him some freedom to get that pass off. Sometimes that's all it takes is for the low pointer to just give you a little bit of space so you can turn your chair and not have somebody's arm across your face.
Right now they're running a high-low with Ernie And I'm a little confused by it. I know they want to get up still and keep a good score, but they've got that 3:30 game to think about. But I'm sure they're going to get some energy drinks in them, some good lunch, and be good to go.
Well, we'll find out in a couple hours for sure.
Yeah.
Then we can second guess decisions that were made at this game.
Well, that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. So, got some equipment issues. Looks like an axle. He had problems with that axle in Columbia too.
Oh, that's nice. Houston's bench comes out and fixes him, gets the game moving. I think both of these teams want to eat some lunch as fast as possible.
Both these commentators want to eat some lunch too.
I've been thinking about lunch the last 20 minutes, I'm not going to lie.
I do have the Tootsie Rolls. Deller goes over. He was up a little bit on Chun's wheel, and his Chun turned around.
Yeah, it's interesting he falls over, but probably should have been called a penalty goal or let him score because no one's around him.
Yeah. I think she's saying he was turned away.
Yeah.
So that makes it an equipment call.
And it's Martha, and we love Martha. So Martha, you're right. Fun fact, I had my first slice of New York City pizza with Martha Rust.
Really?
On a whim.
In what situation was that?
My wife and I were in New York City, and randomly she was there with a friend, and we ended up having a 99-cent slice of pizza at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That is a big slice of pizza.
Pizza has a weird way of tasting good at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah. So we'll get Joe Jackson to inbound.
So Dave, all the years of commentating, all the years of playing the sport, what's one of your favorite games?
Honestly, I enjoyed coaching when we played Division I. We ended up coming in 7th. We had a game where we played against the eventual second place team. We ran with them for 3 quarters. It was Chris Cook.
Okay.
Where were we playing? That wasn't Rio, was it? Gosh, there's so many that run together.
Yeah.
There is a game, though, I can say from the opposite side that haunts me every time I think about the play that I wish I'd done differently, and that was at Nationals against Minnesota, of course. We beat them in the pool play, and we were playing them for 8th and 7th. And in the final game, our defense was really going well, and I slowed the ball down at the line, and I had it in my lap and was protecting it. And then when I got to push, Kyle popped it out of my lap, and I crossed the line.
Oh.
And then I went to the corner to get the inbound, and she said I gained an advantage because I went around the pile outside the lines to get the ball. So not only did I turn it over, but then I got a penalty, and it was the difference in the game.
Yeah.
That ate me up. Do you have a favorite memory?
We all have those. My goodness.
Some medal games that are probably pretty memorable.
Yeah. Well, probably and Trevor Hirschfield has this saved. He has a video of it. Probably my worst, not top 10 moment internationally was Trevor stealing the ball off my lap and scoring about 5 feet off the baseline in 2015 in Toronto. Pair of pants.
I was there at that game.
And it popped the ball right off my lap, and it happened so quickly. And it's you want to be that old State Farm commercial where you can disappear.
Right.
It's what you want, but
yeah,
as athletes, you have a short memory, but some of those you hold on to. And
it's hard to let go.
Yeah.
I just wish I could have that one back. Because Joe Bongiovanni coached us that year, and he was yelling, "Score it, score it!" And I just wanted to take another 5 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
And that could have cost us the game. Because that would have put us up. Worst case, if they scored, we tied. But our defense was going so well. It just eats me up. I have trouble letting go of things sometimes. I have things from my childhood that like drive me insane. Like, really? That guy doesn't even remember your name anymore.
Right. We all have them. Clock's not started yet.
They will start that one over again. Correctable error as the officials speak there. 37-30. Heat on top. 1:42 left in the third. We get to have yet another quarter of rugby here.
They're doing some clock management here with Ernie.
And the final game of pool play follows this. It'll be Lakeshore and Kansas City, a Division II matchup. That game also has implications on who plays
Correct.
for a medal.
They got plenty of time here to reset if they want to reset. They didn't get their 130, which is what they wanted, but it's been a struggle for them in the key all weekend. They have not practiced with Roscoe too much, is from what I've heard. He's obviously had his duties with the Colombian International, the team where they qualified for Worlds along with Brazil, Canada, and the U.S. At the Americas Zonal Championships.
Yeah, 4 teams from the Americas region.
First time ever 4 teams from the Americas Championships. That'll be in the World Championships.
And that based on the fact that there's not a play-in opportunity, right? So
correct.
They basically took the highest seed that didn't qualify?
The highest seed that didn't qualify went in, yep, which was Colombia. And they had a barn burner of a game against Brazil, as they always do. Those 2 teams are so much fun to watch.
Yeah. And Colombia won the first one.
And it was
but not the second. Brazil, very emotional game for them too.
Yeah.
Winning that bronze medal.
Very special moment there in that bronze medal game. With Brazilians kind of godfather of rugby passing away in a tragic turn of events.
Also like the 5th most decorated Paralympian in Brazilian history.
Yeah. Gold medalist and javelin, I believe.
Yes, not rugby.
That's the beautiful thing about our community, where you had 6 different countries kind of come together and have a ceremony for them. Got 10 seconds on the shot, so it looks like they're going to call a timeout here at the end.
Peacock's got his hands in here. Calls the timeout. With 3.2 left on the shot clock. And at 38-31, the 2 Texans now looking for the final try of the 3rd period. What do you think they do here?
Well, they want to.
Like Deller's going to run the ball.
Obviously, they're trying to score, but if they want to score with as little time left on the clock as possible. So Phoenix can't throw a deep bomb or something like that. So they want to score and then get someone back before they're throwing a deep ball. I like that. I like the press. You know that they want to score quick, so pressing them either makes them not score or score even quicker, which they get right here. So Ernie wants to come and go hit him in. So now they scored with 8 seconds left, which the timeout didn't really do a whole lot. Right.
Yeah.
Phoenix calls a bench timeout, gets him to half court. Again, I just love this added to our game.
Yeah, it's a cool rule.
Yeah.
I don't know where the idea came from, but
it was something that I know Chuck Aoki and myself had talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
it got shot down once, but then I'm not sure who we give credit to, because I know it was an AGM proposal, but and it maybe it was Steve. Maybe Steve brought it back up again. I'm not sure who it was, but I don't know if we have that information somewhere.
It makes me wonder what inspired it.
You know,
nice defense there by the Texans.
Well, we'll talk about it in the 4th. We got something to talk about in the 4th, too.
So we'll go into the final break of this game. 2 minutes break, and then we'll go into the 8-minute period. We'll be back then. fourth quarter. Phoenix Ability360 Heat leads this game 38-32 over the Tier Texans from Houston. Get some direction there from the bench. Jones gets swiped at there. Looks like we got Mike Peacock.
Phoenix started out with their starting line out here, probably to go into some first goal management.
Well, they got that first try, right? So that's what they were trying to do.
And with
38-33.
They've gotten a lot of guys rest here in this game, but it's a 5-point game. It's not out of reach.
Well, we've also seen some lines out of Phoenix that we wouldn't see in a different game.
We've had a couple bouts here where there's a case of catching a cold called turnovers.
Both of these teams need to think about their next games because they're very important.
Yeah, they do.
Although there is a tiebreak situation. Now, if we're correct about the fact that head-to-head is what matters, that's decided.
It's really obvious, so it's probably not even the rule. It's so obvious, but I think it is.
No, I'm pretty certain. Having had to do tie breaks for 8 years. And in fact, when you play during the regular season, the tournament host is allowed to determine a tiebreaker. And because we were playing in St. Louis and they knew Joffre reached so much, they said that whoever had the least number of penalties would win a tiebreak.
That might be the dumbest tiebreak.
But you know what? It was effective. It changed because we knew about it. We decided that we were going to try not to reach so much.
I bet Joffre was extremely happy about that.
Yeah. Joffre's always ready. Geller across the try line. I really like the three camera angles that they've got here.
Yeah, I was just going to say that top angle is so nice to see.
Top is great for when I want to look at film and watch my team and what they're doing right and wrong and what I'm doing right and wrong. I want to see it from above. I want to see what I missed. But there's also something about being right there in the action and getting to see the look on a guy's face. Is he looking at the chair and the decision he's making to get in on that play and steal that ball, right? Like he came all the way around from this side and came across and made that play with the camera on him pretty much the whole time.
When you get a dominant guy like Roscoe, defensively and offensively, the other guys in the court, so in this case the 2-2s and Scott, they need to do their roles so they put Roscoe in the best position to succeed.
Absolutely.
Right? So they're not trying to do too much or too little. They're doing their role right so he can do even better. It's all about role recognition on the court.
Looks like we've got a timeout called by Tier.
Here's do some subs, and it looks like Williams is going to come back in the game, so hopefully that elbow
that's
is
good.
Better.
Looks like they may be putting several different guys in.
Yeah. I think they're thinking exactly what you were thinking about before with, hey, let's get some guys some rest, think about next game.
Right, whether you end up in the top bracket and playing for first or your best chance is fifth, you still want to do the best you can, so give these guys the opportunity to do so. Don't wear them all out here in a game that isn't going to change the outcome.
I think Scott's probably thinking about subs too, depending on who comes out there. They've got the strong line out here still.
Got Jamie out there now. First time we've seen him on the floor. DuBose. Number 10. We got class down half a point in Phoenix last time we played there for Nationals. Nice play there by Geller. Scoops the ball up, fires it across to Williams. I love to see a play like that. That's court awareness, right? He's not
Yeah,
just chucking the ball to keep from going out of bounds, but he's throwing it with purpose toward a specific guy because he knew he was there.
Yeah.
44-36. Oh, Deller hits him in that club hand. Bounces right off.
Yeah, you don't want to.
He got turned, right? He was trying to catch it and got turned.
But you don't want to. You're throwing him the ball. You don't want to go 50 cent and go in the club. You want to go in the hands. I had to, Dave. I had to.
See, those are great defensive plays. You know, you see guys, they stop a chair and they start putting their hands up in the air.
Yeah.
And that play was created because the guy kept his hands on his wheels.
Absolutely.
And kept pressure on Deller so that when he was about to catch the ball, he turned his wheel and made him have to catch it with the wrong side.
Yeah.
The hand that he doesn't have. I mean, it's buried under tape,
it's
right?
Knowing
so
it's knowing your opponent. Absolutely.
Work the chair.
Be patient.
That's a message to my team who will be listening. So.
A lot of messages.
If it wasn't obvious. So running a play here, kind of artificially just creating the intensity of working that clock down to as low as we can. Williams not able to pick that one up.
Gonna let Martha go and get that ball.
He looks like he's okay though. Tim Jones over the top to Deller. And we'll pull back, start transition. And back to the key goes the Texans. They're pretty effective in the key. That I know that when we've played them and they've dropped in the key to slow things down because we had the speed over them. Actually, we never had the speed over them because we had good over the top. They were able to keep us out a lot. Far too much.
I think he's just going to take some ticks off. Clock's their friend, take some ticks off, and attack here at 15.
The shot clock is a great addition to this game.
It really is. Yeah, we were talking about, the rules with, advancing the half court.
You weren't on Team USA yet, but we went to China because Erica Schmutz made the team, and we told her if she made it, we would go because she was playing with us. But there was a game between U.S. and Canada that was so brutal. I think Canada scored 3 in the third. And the U.S. set up in the key, and they just attacked and failed, attacked and failed, attacked and failed. And that play must have run for 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It was so hard to watch.
When I first started,
it was a good game, but
there was no shot clock, and next year they changed the shot clock for the league. And but a lot of those guys trained differently. They trained a lot more endurance because they had to. The plays would last and last and last and last.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a great. That's probably the #1 rule change that really changed the way the game was played and the speed of it.
And I talked to people internationally about taking away contact before the whistle, and nobody seems to be for it. But I think they should try it at a tournament just to see how it goes.
Right, and I think that's what brought everyone in. Is they tried it at Best of West a couple times with high-level Division I, and the worry was like our high pointer is just going to destroy low pointers, and really it's just the same exact jockey.
Or our
for
low
position.
pointer is going to just have a huge advantage.
Well,
right?
they do at times, but I think it's
it goes both
the
ways.
Spirit
though.
of the game.
I mean, I get the opportunity to do the same thing.
Correct.
So they don't have a coach's timeout? So what is it, a technical?
Yeah, Coach Curley had called a timeout.
They don't have one.
The bench, they did not have one. Technical, it's a turnover. They still kind of got it, I guess.
They got the substitutions they wanted.
Yeah.
Although on a penalty, you're not supposed to be able to substitute, are you?
I think technically it was a dead ball because there
when
was
they
no
called,
timeout.
right, you're right.
So then
Okay.
Roscoe's still out there, Scott's still out there. but they got the high-low.
I'm glad I have you here to correct me so that I'm not giving you misinformation.
Well, then, you know, no one needs to jump on the social media to correct you.
I was given the impression that only one team was going to qualify in Columbia. And then I heard it was 2, and then I heard it was 3,
Yeah.
and then I found out it was 4. So like I was saying different things all week, but the information I was getting was from people that I thought knew what they were talking about. I felt like I apologized every game because the number was changing. Deller got stuck there trying to get to Roscoe. On Andrew Case, number 25, who's out in the game for the first time. Peacock turning.
Saves himself.
Before he has the ball, so he's unable to grab it. I love this camera too. We don't get a whole lot of action in that corner, but
yeah, he's giving some.
It gives some good perspective when you get the whole court, and then when you're right there in the corner.
See Eric Bell's hat game there. Big fan of wearing hats with his.
Got to keep that noggin warm, especially when you don't have any hair to keep it help you out. Trust me. It's low maintenance, though. I'll tell you that.
Yes, I'd imagine so.
I can't tell you the last time I used a comb or a brush. And I can cut my own hair.
2 minutes to go in this game. 2 minutes to lunch. 2 minutes to lunch.
Oh, because you don't have a game coming up after this. I'm going to run out there and try and grab something. Usually I have more time at halftime than I do between games. Over the top to Hamilton.
Beautiful crack block from Joe Jackson. Frees up Roscoe.
Jackson and Peacock chatting it up there. Peacock stuck. He's not getting out. He's committed to throwing. You can see he wasn't even going to try.
Good play there by Peacock, throwing the ball in the front court.
Yeah, because he'd been over the ball. Oh, leaving the court happened before he went over. Good call by the ref. Yeah, so we're going to get to see that as a replay.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think Peacock called timeout, but he didn't need to.
That's a
because
one way
Roscoe went across the line.
One way to stretch your lat out right there.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's all right.
Hopefully he didn't
looks
tear
like
it.
he's okay.
And we'll see substitutions from both sides. Well, it's definitely not Tim Brown, number 2. Tim Brown's number 6. Well, that's Tim Jones, so it is Tim Brown. Sorry. James Saw, 41. Gets it up to Orozco. And over to Joe Jackson. Whoa, that was close to his picker. (53-41) is our score with 1:29 left in this game. Deller and Roscoe both still out there. Deller adds a punctuation mark there as he crosses the line. Bell gets Orozco out. Roscoe looking at that clock for the 5-5 mark. goes inbounds. Tim Brown has the picker. With Jackson there, he's not going to be able to use it. Deller over the top. And Brown. To Deller.
Roscoe bullies it away. Shot clock's off. And
all muscle. 23 seconds left in the game. 54-42 is our score. Ability360 Heat will take this one. And that means they will likely play the 1 seed from the other side of the bracket. Two seconds remaining. And rather than try and score the last one, Dave Saw will sit on it, and this one's in the books.
Dave, I'll see you for the Division I crossovers.
Thank you for joining me, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody out there in the audience. We're glad you're here watching the rugby. We got another game coming up here in just a couple minutes. This one will be Lakeshore versus Kansas City. See you soon.